Video 3, using the Tech400 Pro to complete a relearn. Whenever a new TPMS sensor is installed, that new ID must be programmed or learned into the system. If you rotate the tires, the existing IDs must be programmed or learned to their new positions. In this video, you'll learn how to complete TPMS relearns with your Tech400 Pro. The Tech400 Pro is specifically suited to complete relearns on direct-style TPMS. Direct TPMS are those with sensors in the wheels. Remember, relearns always begin at the home menu by selecting Relearn. The Tech400 Pro will then prompt you to select the make, model, and year of the vehicle being worked on. Check the 10th digit of the VIN to determine the correct year. There are 3 types of direct TPMS relearns: stationary, OBD, and auto. Stationary relearns involve putting the vehicle in a relearn mode first. On some vehicles, to get them into relearn mode, it means navigating through the menu of actions on the instrument cluster. On other vehicles, it may mean holding buttons on the key fob, or getting the car into relearn mode may require key on and off and brake pedal depressions. Once the vehicle is in relearn mode, use the Tech400 Pro to activate each of the sensors. The vehicle should respond to each activation with a horn honk. Whatever the relearn procedure is, the Tech400 Pro will instruct you on how to get the vehicle into relearn mode. Remember, you can also reference the TIA chart. As the name suggests, OBD relearns are done by using the OBD2 connection under the dash. The process of an OBD relearn is more consistent than the stationary type and typically goes like this: activate and capture each sensor ID, connect to the OBD2 port, and program the IDs. Auto relearns are completed by driving the vehicle for a period of time long enough so that the sensor IDs automatically relearn to the system. This method can sometimes be challenging to complete as the drive period is often long. The Tech400 Pro features bonus relearn coverage. That is, there are a number of stationary and auto-learn vehicles that can be relearned using the OBD method. This saves you time and is more accurate. The Tech400 Pro will always prompt you to use the OBD method whenever possible. So let's have a closer look at doing relearns using the 400 Pro. The 2010 Ford Fusion requires a stationary relearn. Like all Fords, the vehicle is put into learn mode by first pressing the brake pedal, then cycling the key from off to on 3 times, then pressing the brake pedal, and then cycling the key 3 more times, stopping at the on position. You will hear the horn honk to indicate you are in relearn mode. The Tech400 Pro will lead you to activate the sensors. When the sensor transmits, the horn should honk. Repeat this process for each wheel position. When complete, the vehicle horn should honk twice. The Ford Focus is just one example of a stationary relearn. It's important to note that relearn procedures often vary, and it's always best to pay attention to what the Tech400 Pro is telling you to do. Also, you can always refer to the process shown on your tool or the TIA relearn chart for additional information. Let's take a look at a couple of OBD relearns using the Tech400 Pro. The first is the most common type of OBD relearn. The 2011 Jeep Compass requires that the sensor IDs be programmed to the control module using a suitable tool. The Tech400 Pro is capable of doing this type of programming. From the home menu, select Relearn, and using the arrow and enter buttons, select Jeep, Compass, and 2011. The first thing you'll notice is the preferred method of relearn, which in the case of the Compass is OBD. After reading the instructions, you will notice that the first step is always to make sure the tires are inflated to the correct placard pressure. This recommended tire pressure setting is found on the placard label on the driver's side B-pillar. Once you've read the procedure, press Enter. You will now see the operations screen. There's an arrow pointing towards the front left tire where the process begins. Properly position the Tech400 Pro against the tire, aimed at the sensor, and press Test Activate Once the sensor responds and the tool captures the information, you will see the tire's PSI at the wheel position. It's now okay to move on to the next wheel, which the tool prompts you to do. Repeat at each wheel position until you have the pressure readings from all sensors. The tool will then instruct you to connect to the OBD port using the provided OBD cable. The OBD2 port is under the dash panel and near the steering column. Once connected, and with the ignition on, but engine off, press the Enter button on the Tech400 Pro to begin the programming sequence. It's a best practice to watch the status of the process as it occurs. The tool will acknowledge the completion of the Relearn and Learn. The Jeep's TPMS is now relearned. Another style of OBD relearn is the assisted OBD. This process is very similar to the standard OBD relearn, except that the process begins with connecting the Tech400 Pro to the vehicle and following the instructions to put the vehicle into relearn mode. Note that the Tech400 Pro must remain connected to the OBD port during this type of relearn. The sensors are then activated by using a separate TPMS activation tool, or alternatively, letting the air out of the tires. There are only a very few of these kinds of vehicles with this kind of relearn. The 2012 Suzuki SX4 is one of them. Whenever doing this type of relearn, always check the sensors first. With the assisted relearn, we'll first verify all the sensors are working. Do this by using your Activation Only tool. Once we know all the sensors are working properly, make the necessary selections for the 2012 Suzuki SX4 and connect the Tech400 Pro to the OBD port. The tool will direct you through the process and prompt you to begin activating the sensors with the separate activation tool. Once all sensors are activated and received by the vehicle, the Tech400 Pro will say Relearn is successful. The Suzuki's TPMS is now relearned. As noted before, auto relearns are completed by driving the vehicle for a period of time. In some cases, there is a required button push on the vehicle, or the sensors need to be activated before the drive. The Tech400 Pro will display the necessary instructions for the selected vehicle in order to complete the process. One final note regarding Indirect TPMS. There are some vehicles that have TPMS with no sensors in the wheels. These are known as indirect systems. There are a couple of ways to know if the vehicle is indirect. The Tech400 Pro will tell you after selecting make, model, and year. Also, the TIA chart will indicate the TPMS type. Once identified as indirect, follow the directions on the tool or the vehicle's owner's manual to recalibrate the system. In the next video, we discuss programming replacement sensors.